Angkor, in Cambodia's northern province of Siem Reap, is one of the most important archaeological sites of Southeast Asia. It extends over approximately 400 square kilometers and consists of scores of temples, hydraulic structures, basins, dikes, reservoirs, canals, as well as communication routes. For several centuries, Angkor was the center of the Khmer Kingdom, with impressive monuments, several different ancient urban plans, and large water reservoirs. The site is a unique concentration of features testifying to an exceptional civilization. Temples such as Angkor Wat, Temayon, Brickhan, and Tabro, assemblers of Khmer architecture, are closely linked to their geographical context as well as being imbued with symbolic significance. The architecture and layout of the successful capitals bear witness to high level of social order and ranking within the Khmer Empire. Angkor is therefore a major site exemplifying cultural, religious, and symbolic values, as well as containing high architectural, archaeological, and artistic significance. The park is inhabited, and many villages, some of whom the ancestors are dating back to the Angkor period, are scattered throughout the park. The population practices agriculture and more specifically rice cultivation. The Angkor complex represents the entire range of the Khmer art from the 9th to 14th centuries and includes a number of disputable artistic masterpieces. The influence of the Khmer art as developed at Angkor was a profound one over much of Southeast Asia and played a fundamental role in its distinctive evolution. The Khmer Empire of the 9th to 14th centuries encompassed much of Southeast Asia and played a formative role in the political and cultural development of the region. All that remains of that civilization is its rich heritage of cultural structures in brick and stone. Khmer architecture evolved largely from that of the Indian subcontinent, from which it soon became clearly distinct as it developed its own special characteristics. Some then dependent, evolved, and others acquired from neighboring cultures' tradition. The result was a new artistic horizon in Oriental art and architecture. The Angkor complex encompasses all major architectural buildings and hydraulical engineering systems from the Khmer period, and most of these barrages and canals still exist today. All the individual aspects illustrate the interactness of the site, very much reflecting the splendor of the cities that once were. The site entirety, however, is put under dual pressures. The first, endogenous, assisted by more than 100,000 inhabitants, distributed over 112 historic settlements scattered over the site, who constantly try to expand their dwelling areas. The second are sojourners, related to the proximity of the town of the Siem Reap, the seat of the province, and the tourism. Previous conservation and restoration was at Angkor between 1907 and 1992, especially by the Eco-Franchise de Extreme Orient (EFEO), the Archaeological Survey of India, the Police Conservation Body (PKC), and the World Monuments Fund have had no significant impact on the overall authenticity of the monuments that make up the Angkor complex, and do not obtrude upon the overall impression gained from individual monuments. Protection and management requirements. The property is legally protected by the Royal Decree on the Zoning of the Region of Siem Reap, Angkor adopted on 28 May 1994 and the Law on the Protection of the Natural and Cultural Heritage promulgated on the 25th January 1996. The Royal Decree on the creation of the Apsara National Authority for the Protection of the Site and the Management of the Angkor region, adopted on 19 February 1995, the number 70 HHR government decision, dated 16 September 24, providing for land use in the Angkor Park. All lands located in Zone 1 and 2 of the Angkor site are state properties, and the sub-decree number 50 ANK over BK on the organization and functioning of the Apsara National Authority adopted on 9 May 28 specifically provided for the establishment of the Department of Land Use and Habitat Management in the Angkor Park. In order to strengthen to clarify the ownership and building costs in the protected zone, first and second, boundary posts have been put in 24 and 29. The assessment was completed in 2012. As of 1993, the ICC Angkor International Coordinating Committee for the Safeguarding and Development of the Historic Site of the Angkor, created on 13 October 1993, ensures the coordination of the success scientist restoration and conservative related research executed by the Royal Cambodian government and its international partners. It ensures the consistency of the various projects and defines when necessary technical and financial standards and calls the attention of all the concerned parties when required. It also contributes to the overall management of the property and its sustainable development. The successful conservation of the property by the Apsara National Authority, monitored by the ICC Angkor, was followed by the removal of the property from the World Heritage List in Danger 24. Angkor is one of the largest archaeological sites in operation in the world. Tourism represents enormous economic potential, but it can also generate irreparable destruction of the tangible as well as intangible cultural heritage. Many research projects have been undertaken since the International Safeguarding Program was first launched in 1993. The scientific objective of research, anthropological study on socio-economic conditions, for example, result in a better knowledge and understanding of the history of the site and its inhabitants that constitute a rich exceptional legacy of the intangible heritage. The purpose is to associate the intangible culture to the enhancement of the monuments in order to sensitize the local population to the importance and necessity of its protection and preservation and assisting development of the site as Angkor is a living heritage site where Khmer people in general, but especially the local population, are known to be particularly conservative with respect to ancestral tradition and where they adhere to the great number of cultural practices that have disappeared elsewhere. The inhabitants venerate the temple deities and organize ceremonies and rituals in their honor involving prayers, traditional music and dance. Moreover, the Angkor Archaeological Park is very rich in medicinal plants used by the local population for treatment of diseases. The plants are prepared and then brought to different temple sites for blessings by the gods. The Prakhan Temple is considered to have been a university of medicine and Nepal as an ancient hospital. These myths of intangible heritage are further enriched by the traditional textile and basket weaving practices and palm sugar production, which all result in products that are being sold on local markets and to the tourists, thus contributing to the sustainable development and livelihood of the population living in and around the world heritage. A public investigation unit was created as major instrument for identifying the needs, expectations, and behaviors of the visitor in order to safely monitor its evolution, prepare a flux management policy, and promote the unknown site. The management of the Angkor site, which is inhabited, also takes into consideration the population living in the property by associating them to tourist economic growth in order to strive for sustainable development and poverty reduction. Two major contributions supporting the Apsara National Authority in this matter. The first, the Angkor Management Plan and Community Development Participating Project, a bilateral cooperation with the Government of New Zealand. The AMP helps the Apsara National Authority to reorganize and strengthen the institutional aspect, and the CDPP prepares the land use map with the experimental participation of the communities and supports more projects related to tourist development in order to improve the income of the villagers living in the protected zones. The second, the Heritage Management Framework composed of the Tourist Management Plan and a tourist map on monuments and natural resources, a multilateral cooperation with the Government of Australia and UNESCO. Preliminary analytical and planning work for the management strategy will take into account the necessity to preserve the spatial atmosphere of the Angkor. All decisions must guarantee physical, spiritual, and emotionally accessibility to the site of the visitors. Angkor is one of the most important archaeological sites in the Southeast Asia, stretching over some 400 kilometers square, including forest area. Angkor Archaeological Park contains the magnificent remains of the different capitals of the Khmer Empire from the 9th to the 15th century. They include the famous temple of Angkor Wat, Angkor Thom, and Bayon Temple with its countless sculptural decoration. UNESCO has set a wide-ranging program to safeguard this symbolic site and its surroundings.